Welcome to Happy Talks with Dr. Alice and Donovan. Dr. Alice Fong is a holistic naturopathic doctor and founder of Amour de Soi Wellness. And Donovan Jensen is a software engineer and founder of HowToHappy.com. Together, they're out to cause more happiness in the world.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Happy Talks. My name is Dr. Alice, and this is Donovan, my lovely co-host. And today we have two special guests. Suzan Nguyen and Patrick Hubbard, also known as P-Hub, are joining us today for some exciting conversations about overcoming adversity. And Suzan is the author of One Arm, but Not Unarmed. She is a happiness coach, TedX speaker, entrepreneur, and instructor. Patrick Hubbard is a digital artist and photographer, and the two of them have teamed up to create some amazing projects called the Be Better Group and the Be Better Life Academy. Please welcome Patrick and Suzan. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm going to break out the clapper.
Woohoo! Yes, that's right. Party. Let's make it a party. Excellent. Awesome. Well, let's get rolling. So tell us a little about your story, both like individually and how you came together to work together. What did
Sure. Yeah. So I'll start. You know what? It's been one heck of a journey. At the age of 22, I was in a car accident, and from that accident, I dominant arm, and it was the darkest time of my entire life. At the age of 22, I was learning to be who I am and growing into a young female. I didn't know how to process what I was going through. And it was just the worst time of my life. I felt like my world was crumbling. I went through depression, isolation, self-medicating. I was angry. I was bitter. And I went through that for quite some time. And I had a turning point, and I realized that I needed to be better instead of being bitter. And it didn't happen overnight. It took decades. I'm still learning about myself each and every day now. And, I started working at a company where Patrick works at. He's still there now. And they have a national conference that occurs annually, a national leadership conference. And I started growing at that company and started accepting myself just a little bit more, being comfortable with who I am. And the team continued to encourage me and to share my diversity. And I was really nervous about that. And that's where I met Patrick. Him and I became very good friends. He continued to nudge me and encouraged me to share my story. These things, I was like, wow, really? Me, an author, me, a speaker? But he continued to push me and encourage me to do these things that I've never thought I would do. And I feel like I found my purpose in life. And it's to truly help people overcome adversity, to be better instead of being bitter. And I'm still learning about myself each and every single day. So the relationship that Patrick and I have, it's grown, it's blossomed, it's beautiful. So now he is a part of my nonprofit. He sits on the board as one of the directors. And also we created a beautiful course together. It's curated personal experiences, what I experienced, what I went through, the pain, the hardship. I've taken all those nuggets, and we started Be Better Life Academy.
Wow, what an incredible and inspiring story of overcoming adversity. You're like the poster child for that. I can't even imagine what it would be like to lose your arm at such a young age, to go through what you've gone through. And great that you had Patrick to, be such a huge support and encourager.
Absolutely.
Be curious, Patrick, if you want to fill in your side of the story.
Yeah, I think one of the things that when I met Suzan, when we were working at the same place, is I think the common thread between all of humanity is at adversity. We all go through stuff. We have ups and downs, and what I loved about Suzan's story is I immediately connected with it. I was sitting on a panel, and I'm a video producer, and I help build online coursework and stuff at my company. I do marketing stuff every once in a while. And so they brought me in to kind of help the speakers kind of develop their stage presence and their message and so on. And I heard her story, and she had put in an audition. She came in, she delivered this talk, and I was just like, I connected immediately. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm like a different person after listening to your story. Like I am now different. And like it always like stuck with me. And so she gives her talk, it shakes our company. And she had this great recording of it. And I literally afterwards, I was like, you have to write a book. You have to write a book. You have to share your story. And she was like, I can't write a book. And I'm like, yes, you can. Like, let's do this. Have you ever heard of like Dragon? You can put a voice thing in, just tell your story. Exactly. And it'll just write it for you. And she writes her book. And I was like, you could do a TED Talk, right? And then I just kept like saying, your story needs to be shared. And all this stuff is like really, really important because people are going through tough stuff. And the things that I heard in your story, that moment of realizing that you have a choice, you can be different, you can be better. And that choice to be better is something that people need to hear. And so I have a particular skill set. I feel like the guy on that one movie, right? What is it, Taken? I have a particular set of skills, but I have a particular set of skills that can help kind of like amplify her voice and help her get her message out. And we can do this thing together and actually make a difference in the world. I think a lot of us artists, we strive to do that. That's what we want to do, is to make an impact. And I just love being on her team because we just connect on such a deep level. I think I've gone through adversity. She's gone through adversity, and we teamed up in a way where we can make a very special impact. And so I love being a part of her team. I love being a board member. I love giving back. I love that I can do something that means something. And so I'm on her team. I'm team winning. So I'm in. So like, I love it. So that's why I'm here. And hopefully we can help spread this message of hers. So
thanks, bud.
Yeah. Lots of love. Do you feel the love? There's definitely a connection.
I only have half a heart. What do I do?
You can put your hand. I don't know if it would work on the screen.
We'll just create it.
Yeah, that's a really great story, and I can tell just from the way that you guys speak about each other that the story really interweaves, and that there's just a really good connection there. I would be curious, as we're on the topic of adversity, what you think maybe some of the common approaches you see, or what do you think the angle that you have that's different or helpful to people is? Like, what's the starting point?
Sure. I feel like the angle is, it's my personal experiences, right? I'm able to relive that moment. For instance, when I was writing the talk or when I was writing the book, I had to put myself back in that situation. I had to relive that experience. And I'll be honest with you, Donovan, there were moments I would wake up the next morning depressed again. I would dream of having both arms, and I would wake up and I was like, dude, this is reality. So putting myself back in that experience and digging deep. I mean, when we go through something hard, when do we want to relive it and continue to relive it? And when do we want to continue to share and talk about it to the whole world? So with me, I feel like me being a speaker and empowering others to be better, I continuously relive that moment, experience that, take away all those nuggets, and continue to contribute to humanity however I can. And I feel like I'm very authentic in my journey as well. There are some things that I mentioned in the book, and people are like, wow, I can't believe you mentioned that. I was like, it was a part of my journey. And there are some things I was ashamed of mentioning, right? I landed in jail because of my anger. That was my turning point. I was out with some friends, and mentally I was in a space I don't even think I was ready to be out, but I went out because I was cooped up for so long. My friends were getting concerned about me. So one night I went out and there was a confrontation. Next thing you know, I land in jail. And that was the most humiliating experience in my life. And I talk about it. So to go back to your question, I feel like with me, I'm very personable, I'm very authentic, and I make sure that I'm very open and honest with everything I went through, just to make sure that I can help you be better.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense to me. Oh, go ahead.
And there's power in that. There's a power in like being able to kind of like look at your past and own it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we do in our course is we help people be comfortable in their past, be more focused in the present moment, and then be able to create clear visions of their future. And people are in different places. Some people are not willing to look at their past. And so we teach techniques that actually help people do that. We also do, if people aren't necessarily, okay, they've dealt with their past, but they just don't know how to be where their feet are, we teach techniques to be present and be in the moment, so you can own your present moment and live a more full life and be with your family, be where you are. And then there's some people who are so focused on their future that they're just stuck in the future and they're just plowing forward, that they're not here with you right now. And I think that's what's unique, is that she did all of that in her story. She did all of that in those. And me, I'm just like, okay, let's grab those little nuggets and let's bring those techniques into a course and really try to teach people how to really be, have a balanced approach to their life. And so I think that's what makes us unique. I think that's what's unique about what she did. And so that's why, that's my answer to it.
That's a beautiful story. And it's great that you created like an actual service or program for people to help them based on your own experiences and overcoming the struggles that you've been through. I'd be curious, Patrick, what are some of the adversity that you've overcome in your own life, if you're open to sharing?
Well, sure. You know, I think adversity takes many forms, right? You know, as a young, yeah. And so like, I've experienced lots. And so I think the most, is, you know, not getting that promotion or not being able to go where you want to go. I think that's more adversity and disappointment. But also, you know, at a really, really young age, you know, my mom left me at a very young age and decided to walk out the door. Wow. And came in and out of my life a lot, and having to kind of deal with that, you know, and kind of deal with your own inner child in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And so I was one of those people that was so invested in my future that I never wanted to look back at that, you know? And so I think there is all kinds of different adversity, I think, that people go through. Mm-hmm. And so that's mine. I don't want to go into too much detail, but
that's good. Actually, that made me think of another thing, is like when you're dealing with the people, because you kind of mentioned how they're in different stages and you got to address it, whatever stages that they're in. Yeah. People are not in a space to look and deal with their past at all. But sometimes that's necessary to like process it and be able to move forward. So it's like, what does the course, like what happens in the course to kind of nudge them to eventually deal with their past, I guess, what tools might be offered in it that might help them do that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Do you want me to take this, Susan?
Go for it, bud.
So it really is a balanced approach where we kind of take you into like starting to dream again, right? And so we have techniques that allow you to start to reframe the way you goal set and the way you think about goal setting. It's one thing to kind of put a goalpost in there, but it's another thing to own it. So we teach you techniques in order to do that. We even have like techniques in there like this, which is like a vision board, which allows you to kind of bring that. And actually, a lot of the pictures in there are this vision board, that I made. But you have techniques like that help you kind of recast your future. Because a lot of times when you're like stuck in an adverse situation, you're so stuck in that. You're like so invested in that like past event that happened to you, and it's very valid. And you have all these reasons, why you're stuck. And so like to kind of think about your future is difficult, you know? And so one of the things that we really encourage is guided meditations, like moments that allow you to really kind of think about your future and kind of get there. The other thing is presence work, it's getting into those moments. That's the next section, is being present and meditations that allow you to be focused on the thoughts that are kind of driving your decision making. I think one of the things that I don't think a lot of people are really conscious of are the kind of thoughts that are going through their heads, these self-defeating thoughts that you're like, man, I'm not worth it or whatever. Well, what if you were aware of that? Hey, you know what? Like, I am thinking that maybe I should shift that and kind of change that focus. So there's some stuff in there that help you with that. And then I think that third section, which is really, really important, is this being able to kind of like get back into that past and being comfortable with that and going there and being okay with it. And that's what Suzan did on that stage. And that I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that's like really, really difficult, but we kind of ease you into it, right? There is a carrot at the end of the stick, you know what I mean? And then there's, okay, where am I at right now? And how am I processing that? And then, okay, now I have to really own where I was. And that is a part of me. And then now you're like equipped to move into that future that you just casted. And that's kind of what we do in there, you know? And I hope that answered the question. There's a lot to ask.
No, I think it really does. It's kind of like, in a sense, letting, like, I like the word that you use, owning the past and accepting it so it doesn't actually own you. In a way, is what I was hearing. Yes.
And that was, I want to add, that was very difficult to do. After the loss of my arm, man, I mean, my recovery was delayed for such a long time because I wasn't ready to accept my past. And I wasn't ready to be vulnerable. Those are some things that we talk about all the time. We talk about vulnerability in the course as well, but accepting your past is so important and being okay with it. You don't have to be happy and just be dandy about it, but just be okay with it and be able to move forward and to be vulnerable as well. Those two things held me back and delayed my recovery tremendously. But Patrick nailed it. It's about owning your past and just being okay about what has happened. And the best to move forward.
Letting yourself grieve, you know, it's like, I think we go through this, and we talk about this in the course, is that society just wants you to jump from that moment to done, right? Healed, right? Just get over it, right? Move on, get to there. But there's whole process in the middle that includes grieving and healing that has to happen first. And if you don't go through that process, then you're never going to get to the end result, which is done, healed, and over it. And part of that is owning it. It's your past. There's a reason why you went through it. And that's to be this empowered, awesome being that you are right now. And so like, that's what we encourage you to do in that course. And that's that third section. It's a really hard one, and it takes some time, and it takes intentional focus. And so it's really powerful. And you watch Suzan now, it's like, she did it. And it's empowering. It's amazing. So she empowers me every day.
Yeah, I think it's really, I was asking about kind of what makes this or your guys' program a little bit different. And I think it's really this nice mesh between how willing and how well you inhabit the space of your past and are vulnerable. Because like even in this short conversation, I can see and feel that like it's not necessarily an easy thing for you, but something you've worked to really inhabit well, along with all this structure of tools and whatnot. So I just love that, there's a really powerful story to go along with it. And one that I feel like, a lot of people who are talking about similar subjects or whatnot of overcoming adversity don't get into the details in such a raw way. And I think that's part of what makes the message so impactful. So it's not really a question. It's mostly just me saying like, wow, I think this is a really good combination of things. And really appreciate you stepping into that space and doing that work, because I'm sure that it will help people also be able to start opening up that space for themselves as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's like empowering people to heal. It's like you have a utility belt of skills that you can like call on when you're in these moments, right? And when you become more aware of yourself and you become more aware of these things, you can call on those different techniques in order to just live a more balanced, more empowered life. And so it's awesome. Yeah, I love being a part of it.
Yeah. And one thing I'd like to add as well, it's just an amazing process as well, because I feel like since I've overcome that adversity, I'm still facing adversity. It may not be that traumatic, but I'm still going through hardship, right? The loss of a job, or not, getting that promotion I wanted, or whatever that looks like. Every adversity is unique to our own. But I feel like because I was able to go through that, now I'm more resilient. So I'm able to approach those different adversities completely different than what I would have. So it's just an amazing journey. It really is. It's changed my perspective and my lens of adversity. I know that since I went through something that tragic, I know that I'm able to get through pretty much anything. So it's been one heck of a journey, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I feel like it is hard sometimes. I'm not going to lie. It's very hard. There are many times when I'm giving my talks. I was at Girls Inc. One time giving a talk, and we're talking about positivity and strength and resilience. And I just had to turn around, and tears just started flowing. And it was so sweet because one of the girls, she's like 9 years old. Miss Suzan, are you okay? And I'm like, I will be. So it's hard. It's not easy because I'm completely opening myself up and reliving those moments. And a lot of moments, it's so tough to talk about because once again, when we go through something that hurts us and is so painful, when do we want to circle back and continue to talk about it? But I realize that it's my purpose in life, and it has become my passion because I know that I'm able to help people move forward.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think it must be hard to have to kind of relive and share your story of the pain and the struggle. But that, I think, inspires people because knowing who you've become and stepped into this strong, resilient woman, and you've overcome that challenge, is really inspiring for people to observe. And it makes I actually watched your TED Talk, which is kind of what motivated me to reach out to you, to invite you to the show. And it is an incredibly inspiring story. I'd be curious though. I had one question, like when you kind of hit, I guess, when you landed in jail and that was your rock bottom point and you knew you had to turn things around or do something differently, I guess, what was that first step to get that process started for you?
Yeah. You know what? There was many steps, but one thing I needed to tell myself, because man, being bitter and being angry and being frustrated, that was so exhausting. It was so exhausting. I couldn't even recognize the person I was becoming anymore. The way I was communicating was a little bit aggressive because I was so angry inside. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I felt like no one understood what I was going through. Although looking in hindsight, I know my friends and family wanted it to be there for me, and they've never experienced anything like that. They're just trying their best. But one thing I needed to do was to tell myself, I want to be better. I needed to tell and reconfirm that with myself. And then after that, I took small steps. I started talking to my sister about how I was really feeling inside. I didn't want to just be, oh, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine, and lock myself in the room anymore. I started slowly talking about it. I started reading motivational books. I started, taking trips and doing something I love, going to the beach and listening to the sound of the ocean, started trying to incorporate little things that made me feel good. And once again, it was an overnight process. It took decades for me to be better. Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. I noticed, like, as you're sharing bits and pieces of your process and what you went through, it's really nice because, like, I think Patrick mentioned it earlier, but you often hear kind of just the end, right? Or like, I had this problem and now I'm super awesome and better and have everything together. And you don't get that middle piece. And as you unwind the process, I think it's really useful for people to understand it is a process, right? And it's not this, hey, I figured out how to overcome adversity, done, nailed it. But you do build up, more and more resilience. So again, still not a question, but I appreciate you sharing those pieces of the process, because I think that's one of the most valuable things, is to see both the tools and hear kind of how, the transitions between different points. Because I don't think that happens that much. You either get the tools or you get a story, and meshed together, I think is really nice.
Thanks, Donovan. And that's a ton of the same feedback that we've received as well. I love your story because you take it there. You share things that I don't even know if I cringe when you share it. I mean, and I do go there, because how can you truly pay it forward if you're not completely authentic with your story, if you're leaving out bits and pieces? And once again, just, like Alice mentioned earlier, it's so hard to go there. But once again, I feel like it is crucial in order to show up and to pay it forward and to help people move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally agree with that. Yeah. Was there anything else that you feel like would be useful for our audience as far as overcoming adversity? Any other things you want to add?
Yeah. Take the course.
Take the course.
We actually we created a coupon for this for your audience.
Do that. Go ahead.
So you can get $100 off, and it's HappyTalks 100 if you want to use it. And so so anybody that uses it on this, they get a discount. It's only limited to 100 people, so they can. So the first 100 people can use that. But the thing is that when you get to the place where you want to be better and not bitter, it's a decision. And that's what this course is designed. Once you make that decision and you decide you want to be better, this course is designed to help you make the good decisions and good things happen in your life by really equipping yourself with the right tools in order to be better and live that be better life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I have a question though. Like, if someone were to sign up for your course, kind of walk me through the process. Like, how long would it take them to get through it? How long are the modules, I guess? Or I imagine it'd probably be like most courses can be self-paced, but I don't know, what's the anticipated, or what can people expect when they join? Yeah.
From end to end, you can take the course in 3 hours. But the thing is, the thing is that each one of those modules should be taken at a week. You should do it and then practice those techniques for a week. You can literally digest all the content. You won't get anything out of it. It's all about the application. And we designed it that way. And so you have the lesson, you have a video, you have some exercises that you can actually practice. And then you actually have an actual challenge, a 21-day challenge at the end where you can track each one of those things. And so I tell people all the time, not everyone needs every piece of it. But some people might only need maybe the past thing. You might need that one module and you want to work on that for 21 days. Or maybe you want to do the beginning piece, which is focus on the future. Because you know what? I've never done that before. And I'm not really excited about my future because I've never really believed in myself enough to dream. You know what I mean? And this allows you to do that. Or, you know what? I'm not really good at being here. I'm so focused on my past, or I'm so focused on my future. I need to really work on that presence work. You can do that in that course. And that's what we've designed it to do. Take those, jump in it. It's self-paced. It's unlimited access. You can jump in and take it at your own, on your own. Works on mobile, works on everything. So it's a really good platform for you to kind of just jump in and get what you need.
Sounds awesome.
And the beautiful thing is it's a membership rate. So we will be adding more courses to the platform. So
cool.
Very valuable as well. But I am confident when I share with you guys that it is going to change lives and potentially save lives.
I love it. It's so important. And I think that's a really important message for people to get, that they're not alone in that. There is a lot of adversity out there, but I think people get in the mind that they have to handle it on their own, and to know that there's resources and people that have been through it, or something similar or even worse potentially, that they can do it too. That's really
Absolutely. And I feel like, it's so easy to feel like we're alone, right? And the great thing about this course is it tells you, it shows you that you're not. And once again, every adversity is completely unique. My coaching clients and people that have approached me, they haven't lost a limb, but they've experienced loss of a loved one, loss of a baby. So this class is great because they can take it in the comfort of their own home, right? Some people may not be comfortable going to a coach and speaking about their experiences, or they may not want to go to a support group. So this class, you take it at your own pace, comfort of your own home. And I'm super proud of it. I have to admit, guys, it is my proudest project by far. I was getting super emotional going over the content, and I thought to myself, if I had something like this when I was going through what I was going through, man, I would have recovered completely differently.
Yeah. And, I think you also touched on something too. It's like, you're not alone. And that's where the Be Better group comes into play. We do have a community that is free, that you can jump into and get around people that have gone through stuff. And we're all here to like kind of lift each other up. Suzan shares free content all the time. It's Suzan Nguyen, her Facebook page. And we have a Facebook group that's Be Better group. And so there is a community that we've built for you to, have support and have love. And it's growing all the time. It's just like Suzan just keeps like touching more and more people. And it's just like amazing to watch it happen. We just wanted to provide like content that you can take as an individual, so you can equip yourself as an individual, because that's also important. It's one thing to be in a group, and to share, but it's another thing to have like skills and tools that you can actually call on as an individual when you're alone, and when you need it, and when you're by yourself. So that's why we kind of created this kind of whole like ecosystem, you know what I mean? That's like here to empower and lift people.
Excellent.
Yeah. And the Be Better group, they can find it on Facebook. We have members from all over the country, and it's really amazing. It really is. And the nonprofit that I formed, of course, I knew I had to have Patrick on there, but our mission is to empower individuals going through life's challenges, right? Giving them resources and tools to be able to be better and to move forward. So it's exciting times for us. We have our, first fundraising event coming up at the end of the year. And I cannot wait to continue to pay it forward and serve the community and do whatever I can to provide that hope and love to people.
Great. I love it. And so where can people find more information about you and your course and your programs?
Yeah, so just hop on to BeBetterLife.Academy, BeBetterLife.Academy, and they can check out the course. And Patrick mentioned the awesome coupon code earlier as well, $100 off for the first 100 people. But yeah, it's a great course. We stand behind it 110%. We're proud of it, and we're super excited because we just launched it a couple weeks ago. So
yay! That's it. That is exciting. Excellent.
Yeah. And it's HappyTalks 100 is the coupon. HappyTalks 100 for your group. You know what I mean? Only people that hear this will get that one. And then the other thing is BeBetterGroup.com is the nonprofit. And so if you want to jump on that, there's also links to the Facebook page from there. So we also link to that group on BeBetterLife.Academy. I think it's really important to be around people that are open and honest and are growing and going through it too. So that's the other place that you want to go to too, if you want to be a part of that community.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to have you on Be Better Group on Facebook. Join us. I'd love that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I think that can really make a big difference. Well, Patrick, Suzan, thank you so much for joining us on our show. It's been a pleasure and honor having you here. And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and then go and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you get notified when the next video comes out. If you check out in the description below, go to my website where you can get my free fast and easy guide to stress relief. Thanks again for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.